Welcome to the Garage Experience Podcast.
Hey guys, welcome back to Garage Experience Podcast. I'm your host Ovi, and today's guest is Tyler McDonald, a very good friend of mine and an subcontractor. And Tyler, please tell us what to do and who are you as a person?
So what I do is I'm an electrician. My preferences is residential work, and I like new construction the best, but I do it all. More about me as a person. I'm an Eagle Scout. I graduated college with an entrepreneurship degree, and I moved to Tennessee in 2022 with the ambitions of starting my own company. And I started my own company in the end of 2023. I'm just building strong. I got 2 kids right now. I got a 4-year-old and a 6-month-old, and I got a amazing wife at home, and I just work every day, try to support the family, and I love doing electrical work, so I enjoy being at work and growing my business and growing my family.
Nice, man. Sounds very good. What got you into electricity? Why not plumbing or something else?
So I never had any interest in working a trade or anything like that, but like I said, I'm an Eagle Scout, so my scoutmaster while I was in Boy Scouts told me if I got my Eagle Scout, he'd hire me in, and he was an electrician. And I was like, sure, I'm going to college. Working a trade is probably better than working at fast food or something like that. So I started working with him, and I got good at it and I liked it, but I never intended to keep doing it. And I actually left doing the work for him to do another job sitting behind a desk. But then I ended up back doing electrical when I moved to Tennessee.
What was the biggest challenge you faced when you open a business, or when you first thought, okay, you moved to Tennessee, I want to open mine? What was the biggest challenge you faced?
Starting out, I mean, everything's fine and dandy. You know, I had a couple jobs going. More of the challenges came later on when you experience the people that have you do the work and they don't pay you when you're done and stuff like that. I'd say just the biggest challenge, I guess, would be starting my business without having enough personal assets to take care of myself if things like that came up. Early on in my business, everything seemed fine and dandy and didn't really have any challenges starting it. It was more the ongoing efforts.
How has your journey shaped your approach and managing teams, like, or serving customers?
How has my journey changed my approach? It's definitely opened my eyes to how people will treat you. You learn some people understand what they're hiring you for, and some people don't understand what they're hiring you for.
There you go.
So I just kind of learned to, regardless of what someone tells you, put it in writing and back yourself up, because they don't always understand fully what they're telling you.
Most of them they don't understand it. Just coming there. Hey, can you help me out? Yeah. When are you gonna pay me? We're gonna talk about that later. What sets your company apart from the other electrical companies?
I have a broom on my truck.
Let's don't start that and that thing with the broom, okay? Because we all know the electricians just put all the trash in a big pile and just it's not mine.
I have contractor bags on my truck, but I mean, to me, what's different from me versus, I mean, when I first moved up here, I worked at a big company, probably one of the biggest companies here in Knoxville. When they get a call, it goes to the service manager, and he sends a crew out, and they have no idea what's going on, and you're getting someone out there that's not licensed, that's just doing this job, and they complete the service call, sometimes good, sometimes bad. But I know that truck that I worked on, they didn't stock any what are they called, drop cloths or anything like that to protect customers' equipment. And if you're working on a countertop, to put on the counter. When I show up to a job, you're getting a licensed electrician. I cover your stuff, and I try to protect your stuff and care about your job, and I treat you like I'm working in my own house and how I'd want it done myself. When I know the bigger companies that I used to work at, they don't care. They want to get home back to the office as fast as they can, clock out and go home, and go out to drink every night with the coworkers and all that kind of stuff. So
Union vibe.
yeah, yeah. I go home to my family. They go home and drink and get out of there as fast as they can.
How do you handle the balance between being on the side jobs and managing business sides?
Like side jobs in terms of just non-work related jobs.
Yeah, like doing basically the office and doing being on the job site as well.
So that's where it gets hard, because I get home from work at different times every day, so I don't have a set routine. And my kids, my 4-year-old especially, once, oh, daddy's home. It doesn't matter what time it is. It kind of resets her mind. So you got to give her attention. You can't just ignore her every night. But then you get tired or you start talking with your wife and, we keep going. And then it's like, oh, I still got computer work, but I just showered and I'm tired. And so you can go sit at your computer screen and get some stuff done. And sometimes it's like, man, this doesn't affect my day tomorrow. So I can just do it tomorrow. And then, tomorrow's the same story. So it just pushes on. So, I mean, it gets hard, a lot of self discipline, but when the days drag on and you got kids, it's really hard to find that discipline sometimes.
Can you share a memorable project or client experience that did have a big impact on you?
In a good or a bad way.
It's up to you. I want a
Um,
good one, but I want a bad one too.
I mean, so just a good experience. I mean, an
I
experience,
mean,
a job.
you can tell everybody I'm a very good general contractor. That's a good experience.
I did enjoy the tiny home that we did. That was a good one. That was new construction and my first tiny home. That was a good experience out there. But I guess so far with my business, my favorite experiences. Um, I did a commercial project for a school, and the contractor rented a boom lift, so I got to work on a utility pole on a boom lift up high in the air, and just had a good view of stuff
Oh
and
no,
everything, and I didn't have to pay for the equipment or anything like that. I got paid to do the work, and I didn't have to pay for the heavy machinery, and I enjoyed it. I like being up high, and it was just a cool, different type of job than what I normally do.
and one bad experience that you had, or that's the worst experience that you had on a job site?
I mean, I gotta say the worst is when I completed a new construction rough in, and then the owners divorced, and neither one of them wanted to pay their bill, and I worked a whole weekend right before I left for my honeymoon, and it was over a year ago, and I still haven't been paid for anything, and I spent a lot of money on roughing in the project, so probably my worst experience.
Man, that sounds tough. What's the most challenging electrical issue you ever encounter, and how did you solve it?
I don't know how to answer that because I like to say on the daily basis that my job's easy. It's just a matter of pulling a wire from here to here. So
Yeah, but at the same time, you might just go to a job there. They want I don't know, one new light fixture, and you notice the wires are not wired properly or they are not connected properly, and you could save the house from fire. Could be a superhero for a day.
So repeat the question.
What's the most challenging electrical issue you ever encountered, and how did you solve it?
I don't know. Let's come back to this one. I'll think about it.
How has the technology changed the way you work as an electrician?
Realistically, moving to Tennessee, it hasn't changed much because people just use basic switches around here. There's not much high technology. In terms of office things, I started business a year ago, so I haven't had much, technology changes or anything that's kind of really changed how I do anything.
What's your take on the rise of renewable energy and smart home system, solar panels, stuff like that?
I like the idea of solar panels on a small scale, not entirely a large scale. I used to install solar panels with one of my companies. I know at least with them and with any solar company, I know the markup prices and profits are insane. And when things are that profitable, it scares me sometimes. And how long a solar panel lasts doesn't always really benefit you the way it's advertised and everything. And I'm not speaking like an expert. I'm speaking just based on
What you did
what
in
I've heard from my
yeah.
companies and how they quote their jobs and this and that and people that installed them and how their experiences were. If you have like a pool and a hot tub or something like that, or you want to run just maybe a heater or some certain circuits, I support the idea of like some solar panels and some things to not run everything. The idea of doing a full home and all that kind of stuff, I think, is a bit too much and not realistic. Not a good idea.
Why do you think that? Because, for example, I'm very pro for it, and at the moment when I will be able to build my own house, that's gonna be a must to be dependable
So
as less as possible from the city utilities like solar or wind. I mean, wind is pretty much
yeah,
nothing, but solar, a lot of solar panels.
yeah. So the company I started doing electrical with was called Earth Friendly Technology, and that was our idea and stuff. I more speak on it in the terms of a financial standpoint with like it's advertised, oh, don't pay your electric company, but you have payments on your solar panels, and then they break before the payments are done. And so more in the terms of how they're treated rather than if it was an efficient and fair priced and not over marketed market or something like that, I'd be way more in support of it. I'm just more not in support of it because of the markups and the insane prices and how it's not actually saving you money in the long run.
Okay, but we're not talking about you getting a company to do it. We're talking about I want to build my own house. I know a lot of constructions. I have a friend, electrician. Hey, look, I'm gonna buy the materials, everything we need. You just have to come and wire them up. You know, on that point, I think it's better and it's way better to do it for yourself at least,
Mhm.
because from what I see on the internet and what I hear, the prices for panel is like $10 almost or even less per panel. I think it's 10 kilowatt or something like that. I'm not 100% sure,
Mhm.
but from everything what I hear, it's a very good idea to buy them
Mhm.
from China or wherever. From what I believe, after 5 years they start losing efficiency, and in those 5 years you can use them and just change them. Because from what I understand, for a house of 1,400 square feet, you need around 50 panels, which could cost you roughly, let's say, all the materials, cables, panels, batteries, everything you need. It might cost you around 10K,
Mhm.
probably more, depends what you choose. And let's say I don't know how much is going to be a labor for an electrician to run them, but considering those facts, do you think, like, if you are to be to build your house tomorrow, would you go with this idea?
Yeah, I mean, in those terms, I would support the idea, and I would consider it building my own house as well. Just like I said, I was speaking more on the large scale, but yeah, in those terms, I would fully support it. As long as you understand the cost and the repairs and the upkeep of the systems, I fully support the idea of using solar panels and renewable energy and things like that.
Because for sure, like here, I try to get a quote in my house when I move here to see how much it's gonna be to get solar panels on my house, because I have a very big tree in the front of the house. First, I have to cut the tree in order to get the solar installed in full efficiency. And at that point, I was ending up having like $75,000. That company coming to do the job with the materials included, plus I think 5K just to remove the tree in front of my house. And I stay and think about, that's not even worth it. Like all those money, I can pay the electrical bill for more than 30 years with no problem,
Right.
you know. But thinking about if you want to build, and you can buy the materials on yourself, and you can do it from Amazon, from not Amazon, but probably like Alibaba or stuff like that. You can go online and order them from there and just find an electrician who knows how to wire them properly. In that case, I think it's more advantage for you.
Right. Yeah.
How do you stay updated to the industry trends, tools, technology?
I mean, realistically, whenever I come up to a job that I need something that I don't have, I,
Just go and get it.
I get it and hope it pays for itself over time.
Do you stay? Do you connect with other, like, I don't know, Facebook groups, electricians that I know they came with new ideas, how to got c- how to came up with like new ways to wire house? I don't know, there are too many ways. I know two ways. One is like spider web, and the other one is the channel, I want to say, or whatever you call the way you do it. But beside that, I mean, I don't know. Think about smart switches. That's something that you first showed me. I was like, whoa, that's really cool. Like Wi-Fi basically,
Yeah.
and just take like a remote, put it on that wall, and just connect it to a switch. That's like a very cool technology piece
Yeah.
there.
So I follow some Facebook group. I mean, like follow some pages, groups, whatever they are, of just electricians that post things, and I follow a couple pages on Instagram. And I'm always, I mean, electrical is based on electrical theory, so it's always opened up to interpretation. So there's always conversation on the topic, and everyone looks at things differently, and that's why it sometimes gets complicated with the inspectors because one inspector interprets it this way, one inspector interprets it this way, and they want different things. But I learned some different things from different people and what they have to say. And the most recent thing that it's been over a year at this point, but one of the most critical things I've learned just by scrolling one of the groups was um, some people like to put smoke detectors on their own dedicated circuit. And in one of those groups, someone posted before something about like if you go on vacation and your smoke detector circuit trips and you get back, it's not beeping anymore because the batteries are dead. Now your smoke detectors are dead. The batteries are dead. You have no idea they're off. Now your house catches on fire and you have no idea your smoke detectors went off. So people are like, if you put your smoke detectors every single time on a lighting circuit, regardless, at one point the code read it needs to be a dedicated circuit. And everyone's like, yeah, we can't do that. That's not safe. Put it on a lighting circuit. And I was following code at the time, so I was like, whoa, that's a pretty good idea. Put on a lighting circuit, and I'll argue with an inspector if that comes up because that's a good point, And how do you argue safety? So I guess I was a bit of a ramble on, but I do follow some groups and some pages, and I do learn some things sometimes.
What advice would you give to someone interested of becoming an electrician?
Don't. No, I'm just kidding.
Come on, man. You are the biggest. I mean, you are the easy worker subcontractor I know. Like, all is smell good. All is clean.
Yeah.
Don't have to worry about nothing.
Yeah, getting to the job sites at lunchtime and leaving before anybody else leaves. It gets a bit rough and the days get long. But any advice, learn, listen, and just be confident. You're doing electrical work. It is pretty dangerous. So you got to know what you're doing. But
Everything is dangerous, man. Even if you get on a ladder, even if you walk straight down the road, it's dangerous. Somebody can hit you. Somebody can shoot you.
yeah, be confident with it. I
Yeah.
guess regardless of what you do.
I tried to be an electrician 5 years ago, and I just didn't make it because I found out I have to be with the same company for 5 years. They were paying for my electrical school or license, whatever it was, and I have to be with that company pretty much on the contract for 5 years. And just because of that, I said, no, thank you.
Yeah.
I'd rather just do something else and find my own way there because like this, I don't like to be under contract with somebody
Right.
in case they don't owe me money. All right. Are there any skills or certification you think are crucial for success in this trade? Yep.
That are important for this trade. Honestly, if you just care about the work you're doing, that's all. In my eyes, the work's pretty basic. The wire goes from the panel to a switch to an outlet to wherever it goes. And
To the microphone.
if you're a good electrician, you know what you're doing. If you care about what you're doing, that's the only skill I would say is really, really important. Everything else, how many electricians are there? How many everything are there across the country? Like it's
A lot.
a lot of people do. It's not like I'm some special tradesman sitting
Don't you
here.
have to be a little bit crazy, because I'm not an electrician, but like today I shocked myself. I to take a light off. I don't know who wired the house. It was a very old house, and there were like three wires, and it wasn't like a red, black, and white. It was just two whites and one black, or two black and one white, one white. And I tried to just take the nuts off and take the light off. I don't know what I touched, but I was like, okay, to take it off. And it didn't have a switch on the wall, so I have to go and take out the whole panel because I don't know which one it is one.
Yeah, my wife definitely tells me a lot. Don't tell me what you did at work. Just come home from work.
What's that one mistake that you see beginners do every day in this industry?
I'd say shock themselves.
I was thinking more upscales, probably. Go on the ladder, crazy. 110 is not that hard. It's not that bad, if you shock yourself, like if you just touch the cables. Even 220, it's acceptable.
It's just, honestly, when you're not the new guy, it becomes funny when the new guys are shocking themselves. So it kind of sticks out. What do new guys do a lot? New guys, they don't know how to clean. They don't know how to run a drywall screw through, a 2x4. There's a lot of things the new guys don't know how to do.
How do you see the role of electrician evolving in the rise of the electrical vehicles?
You repeat it?
How do you see the role of an electrician involving with the rise of electrical vehicles? Like, do you see your spot being more inquired because everybody goes like electric, so they need chargers home, batteries, whatever, generators, solar panels with generators for cars, because that was my idea.
Yeah, so the kind of work I fell into starting my own company, I don't do as much of the chargers. I've done a couple for my own company, but when I worked for the bigger company around here, the amount of like panel upgrades and electric vehicle chargers we were installing was a pretty good number. And I'd say it's because, people are buying the chargers and they need the more power, so they upgrade their panels and they get better systems. So I'd say things like that definitely impact our line of work. And while it hasn't directly impacted me, it honestly, it might impact me because other people are out doing those calls, and I'm getting the kind of projects.
Yeah,
Not that I don't like doing those; those are just a half day project, not much, and I like doing the big construction. Not big. I don't care what size it is. I love the tiny home. I just love new construction. I love the construction projects.
it's
So
basically do everything from zero, and you have everything set up
yep.
because you don't have to worry behind somebody.
The switch box and worry about
Yeah.
what someone else did, and you don't have to worry about anything.
What changes would you like to see in your industry for the next decade?
I mean, code changes are always happening in electrical, and they keep changing and things back and forth. So there's definitely some codes maybe that are coming into effect that I would like to see change. Outside of that, I mean, I don't see my trade becoming automated or anything like that. I don't really see
Would
anything.
you not see a robot from Tesla doing electrical panel work?
No, because they accidentally arc themselves. They're just metal. They'll be gone, and you're not going to put a robot in these attics or anything like that. So
For crawling spaces? 2 feet deep?
no. You need the 18, 19-year-old helpers to get down and up there to do those things.
What motivates you to keep growing your business?
I mean, like I stated before, I just genuinely enjoy doing electrical work. So, I mean, the more I grow my company, the more work I have at my hands, and I'm on every project that I take on with my company, and I meet every customer. So I'm there and I make it, like I said, I treat it like it's my house. And I've sometimes brought my wife and kids out to meet the customers and hang out while I'm working.
I
Just,
know I met your daughter on the first job and you did for me.
oh, yeah, well, I took
And
her
I
out on
told
the
her
quote.
she looks like my daughter. It's exactly like my daughter.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I try to include them when I can. I mean, you're not allowed to have kids on jobs and stuff like that. So, if they go, it's, hanging out with the homeowners and,
Yep.
my wife and stuff like that. Kind of rambled on. I forgot where we were going with that one. But
What motivates you to keep growing your business and improving your craft?
yeah, I guess I just genuinely enjoy
Just a
doing it. Yeah.
passion from electricity.
Yeah. I never thought I'd do
Do you see
electrical.
yourself like a eye bulb and a power and battery, and you're gonna make the light bulb goes?
I guess.
How do you balance the demands of running your own business with your personal life?
Depends on where I'm at and how busy my schedule is. I mean, there's times where I get home and everything work related gets ignored until my kids go to bed. There's times where I get home and it's, hey, I got to go to my office and I got to get stuff done. So it depends on the season. I guess it's more how my wife really balances it because,
She's the boss.
yeah, I mean, if I got to take care of office stuff, then she's
Mhm.
got to take care of the kids. And if I'm there helping the kids, obviously that helps her out when I get home.
Yeah.
She's with them all day, but I mean, mentally it gets hard sometimes knowing that your daughter's sitting here wanting to play with you, and you got to
Oh, I
work
know.
and you got to keep up with your schedule. So how do you keep up with it? I mean, you have to, like, you can't really
So
think about it.
you don't go like 8 to 4, 4 you clock out, don't hear nothing about job and go home, just be with family.
Depends on the project I'm on, the season I'm in, and where I'm at. I mean,
If you could go back and give your younger self one piece of advice, what would that be?
I don't know. That's hard because I never intended to do much, but everything kind of worked out. I mean, I got a college degree and I ended up doing electrical again. So I kind of feel like I'm fine with where I ended up. So if I had different advice or did anything different, maybe I would have went a different path.
Do you think, like for example, I know what my father and my mother told me growing up was go to school, learn, so you won't have to work that hard. And I was like, no, nothing. I like going play soccer stuff like that. And now I see why they said that because probably if I go to school more, but learn better, I could probably work in an office, 9 to 5, all suit up all day. I don't have to be not like a lawyer, but I don't know, some sort of a manager somewhere.
Yeah.
I don't have to worry about nothing. Have a nice salary, but in the same time, I really enjoy where I am right now.
hmm
So pretty much, I want to say go study to have that as a backup in case whatever you do in your life doesn't go how you want it to go.
Yeah.
Because in the end, if you have a lot of degrees, college, bachelor, whatever you want, and you go to get your own dream, I don't know, being construction, being hairstylist, being wherever you want. If you can do that and you succeed in that, you can have those on the side as a backstep, like a
Mhm.
back door in case at one point, I don't know, we're going crazy and everybody needs a job like in a corporation or stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I support that, but at the same time, I mean, it's easy for me to say, I guess. I got a bachelor's degree, and that's all it is, like I said, I genuinely enjoy what I do. I did an office job for a year, and I, I can't say I'd rather go back to it no matter what the office job was. Like, I'd rather go back to an environment like that
What was
versus
the office job?
it was a weird little industry. They sold like computer components.
Okay, hardware for computer.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, we called suppliers and resellers and stuff for little micro computer
So
parts and stuff
you
like
would
that.
in office and call
Yeah, I sat there with a headset on and I'd make my phone
for
calls.
customer support basically, or like
I'd,
sales.
I'd call, say, "Hey, do you have this part in stock?" I was like, "I want to buy it for this much," and they'd be like, "You negotiate out a price."
Okay, so like
And
sales.
then yeah, have them send pictures and what is the content good? Is the quality of the product legit? Is it fake? And then they'd send it to you, and then your warehouse would take care of it. And if it's fake, you'd have to deal with, hey, you sent me fake stuff. We need our money back. Or sometimes we wouldn't pay them until they send us the product and whatnot. But regardless, that's what I did there, and I kind of enjoyed doing it. But like I said, comparing it to what I do, I like being in different places and watching projects go up, and not so much that in a way of, oh, you're playing hero ball, but people need electricians, people need construction workers, so when people have an issue, it's nice knowing people can call you and rely on you. Hey, I don't care if it's 2 a.m. I need something. It's like, yeah, I can help you. I got the skills to do that. I'm gonna head out there with my tools and I'm gonna take care of it. And now these people, they have power on the next day or whatever. And just it's cool being able to. I like doing it.
If you could, what's one myth about electrician or electrical work that you like to debunk?
One myth.
Yeah, because I tell you one.
What's your myth that
My
electricians?
myth for electricians, they don't know how to clean after them.
Yeah, that's one that you want to debunk, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I can't even say that's a myth that should be debunked because I mean, a lot of times electricians don't clean up. That's what makes me special.
That's very true. Even though I make a lot of fun of you because of this, uh, after you leave my job sites, it's always clean. So I can. I mean, if you leave something, I know it's just for me, just to have something to bitch about. But most of the time, it's clean, and I can't complain nothing about that because I mean, you're pretty much the only electrician what I have so far, and I don't want to change that because I like how we do it, stuff like that. But do you have any other myth that electrician?
I mean, a lot of people like to say like electricians are gay, but
They say the same
and
thing about the plumber. They say the same thing about framer. They say the same thing about every other subcontractor job.
um,
You know,
I mean,
it's.
I don't know what some other myths that I can debunk. And people say electrical is the easiest, and like I said, in my eyes, electrical is pretty easy. I don't know. I mean,
I just think it's easiest because it's the cleanest. You just wires. You go dry, no water, no nothing. It's perfect.
I mean,
I know sometimes you have to go in some crawl spaces that pretty much you don't know what's gonna get there.
if an HVAC tech messes up, your house gets cold or gets hot. If a plumber messes up, your house gets flooded. If I mess up, your house burns down. So, I mean,
I mean,
it's
yeah.
a little more than just wires.
Where can people find you or your company if they want to work with you?
I'm on Facebook. I'm on Google.
What's your company name?
1 2 Electric. I
One.
spell it
It's
out.
not 1, 2, 3.
That's 1-2-3 Electric, but the three is the E.
Oh, okay. I don't
So
know why I always thought it's like 1, 2, 3
So I'm
electric.
a soccer player. In soccer, we have 1 2. Give and go, pass and pass it back. 1 2. So I just named my company 1 2 Electric, but I just made it the E of three, so it's kind of 1 2 3. I kind of one day envisioned doing plumbing, HVAC, and
So you got all those
electrical. So
straight.
I'll be 1 2 3 for everything.
What challenges did you face when you started? You got some customers, like you started having employees. What was those challenges that moment?
Getting employees to do what you promise to your customers, because your employees don't show up with the same drive that you show up with, and depends on their mood, how they want to treat the job that day. And I treat every job the same. So if they don't reflect the same, it kind of sets you back and it becomes a struggle. And they do things a little differently than you told the customer it'd be done, and you're like, how do I explain this out? That's not how we were supposed to do it, and it's not done wrong. It's not the way we said it should be done.
Somewhere in the middle. Do you have problems like finding good people or people who knows what they do, not just bitching around? Oh, I'm a very good electrician, or I know some electrical work.
I mean, so the first employer I hired was just playing on one of my Sunday league soccer teams, so I
Okay.
already knew who he was and everything, and he didn't know anything starting out, and I knew that, so it was more of just a how fast do you learn kind of thing, and I ended up letting him go after some time and told him, I was like, you're young. I'm not writing you off for the rest of your life or anything like that. I'm way too small. You're taking a little too long to develop. You should go work at a bigger company or something and, get your skills built up. And then I hired someone else that used to work at the big company with me. I mean, he knew what he was doing and he was good at what he did. He just depended on how he woke up, how he treated the job day in and day out. And so it just got hard to keep, him around because it's like, we're not working with the same quality I'm wanting, then then I'm not really staying true to my promises to my customers. So we can't build off of that. So I mean, finding good, I feel like if you teach them right in electrical, it's not the most complicated with what I do. So it's not hard to find someone that knows what they're doing or can learn it. It's just hard to find someone that's
Motivated to do
everything.
What are some key lessons that you learn in entrepreneurship?
People care about themselves a lot more than they care about you. Everything in business is customer related, people related, and you have to make sure you have everything to protect yourself before going out in the business world. And going out thinking you can trust someone or something isn't the way to go about business.
You got a contract right by a lawyer? You just were based on a basic contract.
I mean, usually I can send through my invoicing system like an agreement, and then people can approve, and we have some sort of an agreement.
Yeah, but that's not like nothing. Like
Yeah.
that's pure nothing. Either that, either nothing makes same thing.
I mean, but how do you go get a legal agreement on every single job you do with every
You don't
single
do
customer
so.
you get?
I'm gonna tell you how. You don't go and get a single like a legal agreement on every single one. You go to a lawyer and you talk to them. Hey, look, I do this. Can you help me out write a contract for all my customers when I do jobs so I can have a backup? And I know that because I was in a job a few years back where I was not getting paid. It was 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks. The guy didn't answer my phone, and I started realizing I have to put a lien on the house because I knew it was a flip. I knew I was have to selling quick. And I went to the lawyer and I told him, hey, look, I have this basic agreement which I got from Google that he looked over. Is like, yeah, that's nothing. It's either this, either nothing. It's still nothing. And he rolled me a contract. You're gonna have to pay him a fee. I don't know exactly how much they charge you. I know they charge you like a certain amount of hours, how much they work on it, because he's not going to do the work. He's just going to put his signature there, Like, for example, for me, in case somebody that don't pay me after 30 days, my lawyer is going to contact them and my lawyer is going to sue them or get the money out of them. My part plus interest and his part. Because last time when I have to pay him was 3K, and he told me if you have this next time, I don't have to pay that. I don't have to worry about nothing else. Just call him, tell him, hey, look, this client don't pay me, send him the contract, and he's gonna take care of. That's one thing that you might want to do when you're ready, and do it as soon as possible, so you're gonna be prepared for that moment when you're gonna need it.
Yeah,
Because it's hard to do it after than before. Right. Before it's just the think of the money. It's probably gonna cost you something, but it's better to do it before you're gonna get screwed. What's a typical day in Tyler's business? You woke up at 6 a.m.
Sleep in, wake up at like 9:30, 10 o'clock, go get breakfast, get to the job around 12.
That's a wish day.
So I typically wake up around 6:15 because my employee meets me at my house at 7. So I don't typically leave my house before 7. And then I just get ready. Sometimes my kids wake up and I don't have anybody that's going to yell at me for being late. So I'll sit there and, maybe get my kids ready or something in the
I
mornings.
think that's the best deal being an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Don't have nobody to tell you, hey, you late,
Yeah.
and you can enjoy probably 5-10 minutes in the morning with your kids.
Right. Yeah. And then, sometimes I leave before they wake up and I get home after they go to bed. So if they see me in the mornings, like I said, who's going to yell at me for being 10 minutes late out the door? But, what was the question? What am I going off of?
What's a typical day in
A
Tyler
typical day.
business?
So I wake up at 6:15. I try to get out in my office between 7:15. Right now, I only have one employee. Usually, empty trash from the day before, get the truck ready for what we're doing the next day. Try to leave the house, but between 7:15, 7:45, depending on where we're going. Can't always rush out the door if we're doing a service call at someone's house because they're not going to be ready at 7:15 for you to show up. So can't always just be at the job site right at 7. So then we kind of just build the schedule off of meeting at the office at 7. And if we wanted to leave right away, get somewhere, then we're getting there by 7:30. And if we need to work past 3:30, 4 o'clock, 4:30, whatever it takes for the job, whatever the scope of work is. On a general week, if we have a good structure of projects, we'll try to leave between 3:30 and 4:30 to get back home. Being a small company and only having one crew, sometimes whenever the job's done, the job's done. You can't really dictate that because you have a job on the schedule for tomorrow and you hope it's done at 4:30, but you can't. Every job's different, every project's different. You can't magically work out a 7 to 4 if you're not on the same project every day.
How far do you work? How far do you go out for work?
I mean, right now I don't do much advertising, so I'm just word of mouth. So if someone's calling me, it's because a friend told them about me or something like that. So whoever calls me, I'll go take care of. I've done projects in Newport. I've done projects in Morristown. I've done projects in Lenore City, Maryville, Prinzeville, Alcoa.
Have you ever been to Gatlinburg?
I have done one project in Gatlinburg, and I've done one project in the island at Pigeon Forge.
Okay. Commercial?
Yes, it was an escape game remodel.
Nice. I'm giving the same questions. Have you ever been shocked by at the job site?
Have I ever been shocked?
Yeah.
So I like to tell people that as an electrician, I don't have to buy coffee because you just walk onto the job site, you can touch a couple wires, and you'll be awake for the day. But I mean, off record, I work on things a lot and I don't turn power off. And there's times where you just accidentally touch something or a wire flips a certain way and you shock yourself.
Yeah, but let me ask you one thing. So, when you buy a new light fixture, they give you instructions and tells you turn off the breaker. If you turn off the switch, ain't that switch gonna act as a breaker? Because if you turn off the switch, there should be no power in the box.
Depending on how it was wired.
Okay.
Because if it was spiderweb wired, then the power sits at the fixture box. There's only one wire that goes to the switch. So yeah, there's
Okay.
power at the switch, but there's also power up
Oh,
top.
so that's what happened with me today. I got you.
Yeah.
Because I always had this question because it's weird. Why should I turn off the breaker? The switch act as a breaker. You turn off the switch, turn off the light. Turn on the switch, turn on the light.
Yeah. And then if you have a dimmer switch
Okay.
and you turn that off, you can still have voltage at the light because dimmers don't always turn fully off. There's always voltage running through a dimmer switch.
Okay. What's the worst DIY job you ever fix?
I mean, everything in East Tennessee.
Did you went someone and you saw those electrical cords running for like all the house?
I just was on a job site looking at a job that had the panel was all new wiring. So it made you think that all the wiring was updated, but when you opened up an outlet, it wasn't the same wiring that was in the panel, even though the breaker turned off, that, and you couldn't find anything anywhere else. But if you pulled the fridge out, there was an old panel that was just now junction boxes and wires sitting, and it was a panel cover over the wall, but there wasn't actual panel or a box or anything in the wall. And so just in terms of the fact that it's brand new wires in the panel and it makes it look like the panel's new and stuff like that, I mean, that's got to be the biggest.
Let me guess, was the flip?
Yes, but I don't know. I don't know if it was that flip or if it was the flip before that flip. I don't know who did that. They were having me go look at the job, and that was already done. I think it was getting flipped again, but it was, I don't know.
What's the weirdest things that you find or you see in people's houses when you walk through?
Man, so I mean, working in people's houses, you see
A lot.
some things, yeah. usually the people that apologize about their house being dirty have the cleanest houses.
Yep.
When you walk in, oh, I'm so sorry, my house is a wreck, and it's like, please stop talking. Your house is clean. I mean, working for myself, I haven't ran into really any bad experiences, but when I worked for a bigger company around here, I went into houses that, hoarders, that covered the whole entire, and they want you to go work on an outlet, and it's like, I can't even walk to the outlet. Or, I guess for my own company, I went and I did an emergency panel change, and they had an outdoor panel, and they had no power, so they were all outside. And I mean, no fault to the kids or anything, but they sat there while we're trying to change an electrical panel, talking to us and asking us questions, and I'm trying to be funny and everything. And it's like, guys, we're trying to work. Like, let us just have a couple minutes and focus on what we're doing. And on top of that, their dogs were outside dogs, and the amount of piles of poop around where the panel was. So you had to watch your step and watch where you put stuff down, and it's pretty bad all around.
Have you ever been in a house where you find something, I don't know, very very inappropriate in that place? For example, in the kitchen.
I've heard stories working for the other company of someone getting back from a job and they found something in someone's closet that was like 10 inches long and stuff like that. But I myself have never seen anything. I do electrical work. Panels are in the laundry room sometimes, so there'll be laundry sometimes on laundry machines
That's
and
what I
stuff
hate
like
the most
that. But
when you have to work in a laundry room or a bathroom, and that's what I do with my customers all the time. I told them, just get all your personal belongings out. I don't want to touch nothing because it's inappropriate for you and for me. It's kind
yeah,
of weird point that
yeah,
second, and a lot of people just forget about them and just leave them there. Oh, you can move them. It's your personal
yeah,
toothbrush or
yeah,
stuff like that. I'm
yeah,
dirty. I have dust on my hands or paint or something.
yeah.
I don't want to touch it. What's harder, bad wiring or bad clients?
Clients, because I have the skills to fix bad wiring.
How do you deal with bad clients? Like that kind of clients that they are they're like a Karen client. They want to
Um,
bitch everything about just to get the amount of the labor short on your end.
so it depends on the terms, because like working for a bigger company, like I said, when you get sent the people that just want to get the job done and go home, I'm fine with the Karens that, oh, I want this. Oh, can you move it like this? Or oh, I might like it better like this. Or hey, can you hold it in the air and let me see what it looks like? Like things like that don't really bother me. I'm like, I'm doing the electrical at your house, and hopefully I don't ever see you again. I want it done the way you want it done. So if you want
Exactly.
me to hold it here a couple times or move it, while we're in the construction phase, that doesn't bother me, because when the construction's done, not in a rude way, but it's like, I don't want to come back, because if I'm coming back, that means you're having an issue, and we don't want issues. So let's get them all solved now. I'm so bad at this. I forgot what I was rambling on about. What was the question?
It's harder, bad wiring or bad clients.
Are we in the next one? Or you asked me something about a client?
Oh, how do you handle the clients as a Karen? When
So,
they're all the time
okay.
there behind you and
Yeah, so
staying.
I explained. I'm fine if you're caring about. I want the work to be precise. Like that's fine. Let's get it done. When you're caring about price, I'm just all about. I would never do anything unfair. So if I quoted you something and I'm like, oh, it was a little more than I thought it would be, I quoted you. I told you this is what it'd be. If I told you, hey, we'll do a couple days, or this or that, then we'll communicate. And if it's like, hey, I told you it should be about 3 days, and it took me 6 days, I don't feel right charging you for 6 days when I told you to be about 3 days. You accepted it and told me, yeah, 3 days is fine, knowing it could change, but going from 3 to 6, that doubles your whole budget. So I understand and I can reflect that. So when you try to nickel and dime me back, I feel like I don't send an invoice if it's unjustified or if I can't defend why I sent it that way. So if you're trying to nickel and dime what I've invoiced you, it's like if you deserved a break, or some sort of discount should have been applied, like it's already been applied. I'm open to discussion. We can talk it out. But when you're trying to just take advantage of me or something like that, I I I just don't tolerate it. No, I don't give in. Like, no, I'm not going to work with you in that manner, and this will be the last project I do for you. And I've had people try to call me back after pulling stuff like that, and I'm like, our first project didn't go right. I'm sorry. I don't wish to continue business with you. Like,
How often do people ask, "Is this a quick fix?"
I mean, I guess it's pretty often for people to ask, how much would it cost me? And I'm like, I haven't seen it. I don't know what you're explaining because you don't properly understand what you're explaining, and not in a rude way. You don't understand electrical. So I'm like, I can charge you by the hour, or I can go look at it and tell you. But is it a quick fix? I mean, it could be. I could open up the wall and the last electrician did something that you've never seen before. And I mean, so I get asked, I mean, like I said, how much does it cost? How long will it take? I don't really get asked directly, is it a quick fix? But you get asked those similar questions, and I don't know, all the time.
Have you ever wired something ridiculous?
Yeah, I was in a condo in Bonita Beach, Fort Myers Beach in Florida. We hung this weird coral reef looking light fixture in the dining room because they lived on the beach and,
Mm-hmm.
trying to keep a theme and all that. It was the most ugly fixture we've ever seen, and it still had the price tag hung around it, and it was like $2,200 or something like that. And me and my coworker on the job, we just, how do you spend more than $200 on this piece of junk?
What's your go-to response to it? It is dangerous.
Is it dangerous?
Yep.
Is the sky blue?
Yes.
I mean, yeah, it's dangerous, but if you know what you're doing, then
Yeah, but for example, I don't know. They call you in for a switch. They have to change the switch, or the switch is not working, and they ask you, because they probably panic. They could have a shortage. The house goes on fire. And hey, is it dangerous? So like, you gonna tell them no? It's just a switch. The switch is not working. You just have to change it.
oh, so do I have to respond to customers? Is it
Yeah.
dangerous? I mean, yeah, I tell them often if it's dangerous. I like to look at things. Um, I mean, whether it's breakers, switches, you can usually tell by a switch. Flipping it on and off. Do you hear a little bit of static and stuff like that to know if it's going bad? Looking at breakers and just knowing their behavior. Depending, usually you get called for a service call. Hey, this isn't acting right. So you can usually assess and tell them, and it's pretty easy to tell them if it's dangerous or not dangerous, or hey, this needs to be looked at, or hey, this is urgent, or hey, this isn't urgent, or what the situation is. But it's not uncommon to be like, hey, this is pretty dangerous, you need to get this looked at, and this were my house, this is what I would do, and I would have done it yesterday.
Did you ever accidentally cut power to the wrong house?
No, because I don't cut power to houses. That's the lineman's job.
Okay, so basically, whatever you do, you just in the house and base to the house.
I don't do anything wrong. But yeah, the linemen show up and they cut power from the overhead, or they pull the meter, and that's what turns power on and off to the house. It's impossible for me to turn power off to the wrong house because I'm not the one who does
You're
that.
not doing that.
Yep.
What's the weirdest thing you have been asked to fix?
I mean, I don't know. Everything electrical is kind of not really weird, so
I have a few weird things in my head that could be like, hey, this thing is not working. And you're going to get there, you're going to see what she's talking about or him's talking about. And you are like, okay, probably you have to plug it in or change the socket.
I mean, you're talking about changing the socket. That's just an outlet. Like, I mean, I don't know.
What's the random excuse you ever heard for broken fuses?
Those random excuse.
Yep.
I mean, I get whether it's a fuse, an outlet, whatever it is. Oh, my brother was here helping me do some work, and he did that one over there, and it's always the one that's broken that the brother did or the uncle did, or
It's not him. Or
yeah, it's never the homeowner that calls you for the service call.
What's your random excuse when you're running late or taking longer?
So I don't know. I usually
If the job takes longer, I mean, you can talk to them and tell them, hey, look, it's taking longer because blah 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 blah. But if I don't know, you're coming to my podcast today and you're late. What was the excuse gonna give me? It's no traffic, even though it's Friday night. It's 7 p.m. You're coming on the back roads, so there's no.
I mean,
traffic.
I don't have any excuses tonight. I can show you my GPS logs. I left my job. I got home. I ate a hamburger that my wife made, and played my daughter for a couple minutes, and then I left. But I mean, I'll usually, if I know I'm not going to get done at the time I should be done to get to my next job on time, I'll usually text the customer and say, hey, I can already tell I'm not going to be done when I need to be done. Like, I'd be a little more delayed? Does that throw you off? And try to communicate with them ahead of time. If it's a morning job and I got to meet someone like right at 8 and I get there at 8:15 because my kid was with me in the morning or something like that, then I would just, oh yeah, traffic was bad, sorry, but I'm here. And if you're 15-20 minutes late, that's not always the end of the world, depending on who you're meeting and what you're doing. And like I said, when you leave before your kids wake up and you get home sometimes when they're already asleep, if they're up early and they see you and they want your attention, it's kind of hard to just leave and get there. You're like, 15-20 minutes won't kill me today. And if it does, then maybe I wasn't the right one for that job.
As a business owner, what you're struggling with the most?
Money.
I mean, everybody is struggling with money, but money being you're not able to get them
I
from
mean,
customers, or
I guess just
you want more money, you want to raise your prices.
struggling the most I guess just being the only person that can go to a job. It gets hard sometimes because your kids are sick, your wife's sick, you want to stay home, but it's like I can't. Sometimes you have to actually just mentally block out your family, because it's like you sit here and think about your kid, look at a picture of your kid, you're gonna be on, but you're not working and you have to work, so you have to, and my phone likes to send, memory of 2 years ago,
Oh
here's a
yeah,
picture, and you're like, oh, that's a good, I can't pay attention to that, I gotta work. If I don't work, then I don't have money, and it's like, well, they're homesick, I should call them and check on them, but then I'm not working, and if I'm not working, then work's not getting done. So I guess it gets challenging sometimes because you can't be both. You can only be one or the other. Can't be at home with your family and have work going on if you're the only employee.
what's your 2025 resolution? What you're looking from to get out of 2025?
I just want 2025 to be better than 2024 was. That's it.
Do you want? For me, I want 2025 to be longer because 2024 was short like a day. I swear to God.
Yeah, it felt pretty long to me. It was my first full calendar year of business, so there's
It's my third.
there was a lot of learning and a lot of different things going on, so it kind of took its time.
Okay, Tyler, man, thank you very much for coming. I have a last few quick questions. What's the worst food you ever try?
First food.
Yep.
So this year will be mine and my wife's 10-year anniversary, not wedding anniversary, just,
Together.
yeah, being together 10 years. And pretty much every year we go to Melting Pot.
Okay.
And one year we tried duck. And I'm not going to say duck's terrible all the time, but when we got it for the first time at Melting Pot, it was absolutely terrible. And we both were like throwing it up, trying it. And I can't name an experience that was ever as bad as that was, because it was just awful.
You got the wrong batch. Would you rather fight one horse-sized duck or 100 duck-sized horses?
One horse-sized duck.
Think about that dinosaur.
What's that duck gonna do to me?
I don't know, man. He can bite you. I got that big.
I'll out muscle it.
Have you ever accidentally text the wrong person? You did. Come on. We always do.
I can't remember a time that I have. It's possible. Not one that sticks out.
I think even you text me once by mistake. I'm 100% sure. Because I know I woke up one day and I saw your text and I'm like, what job of August? I don't have any job for you. And you were like, oh, sorry, wrong number.
Oh, I think I know what you're talking about. I think I did text you about a job and I texted the wrong person.
So you did that.
I guess ironically you're the one person I've missed text, huh?
What's the most useless talent that you have?
Most useless talent that I have. I can roll my belly and I can roll my tongue.
No? Like that? What the heck? Okay. If you could time travel, where would you go?
I can time travel?
Yep. You in the future or in the past?
I probably, I don't know, go to like a World Cup final, choose a World Cup. That would be really good to go back and see that I didn't have the chance to.
This last one with the Messi and Ronaldo last one?
I'd consider that one because, I like Messi and, it's his first World Cup, but I at least got to watch it on TV live. So it's not the same, obviously, but maybe I can go back and watch, Pele.
Honestly, if you don't get enough money to buy the tickets, like good ones, I think you'd just stay home and watch them on TV.
Yeah, I don't know. At least the next World Cup's in the United States, but at least going to the city where the game's at, I feel like would be
from what I know, it's
cool.
Atlanta and Charlotte.
Yeah, I think There's a couple close to us that are hosting.
What got you into the football? The soccer, sorry. Don't make mistakes here. It's soccer.
What was the question?
What got you into the soccer? Did you play since high school?
So I started playing when I was really young. I know I did baseball and soccer and a couple different things. I don't know if soccer was the first or if soccer is just what we liked the most and what we kept doing. But I started young and I liked it and I still like it and I still play it. I still play on a Wednesday league team and a Sunday league team and still watch it and still involved in it.
Okay, so listen, here's the one topic I want to discuss with you. Because you like Mexican food and you're American too, so all those goes together. Very good. But my last guest here, Preston Murphy, told me something that's gonna be on my head the whole year. Can a taco be a sandwich?
Is a taco a sandwich?
Yeah.
I mean, when you think of a sandwich, do you think of a taco?
Not really. But if you think about it, you got something in the middle, like a fill.
I mean, I understand, but have you ever in your life thought about a taco when you said, hey, I want a sandwich? If you ever said, I want a sandwich for lunch, have you ever went to a taco shop?
It could be one.
But have you ever went to a taco shop after saying, I want a sandwich?
If it's one next to a Subway, I'll go get a taco.
Okay, but you went to get a taco. You didn't go to get a sandwich?
Yeah, okay, but I mean, yeah, I know your point. I know what you're saying, but at the same time,
I mean, I understand.
I know when you say
at
sandwich.
the same time, in reverse, I understand the point of the question, but one's a taco, one's a sandwich. I mean,
but when you say sandwich, okay, you think probably
it
like
could be.
bread, I
I
don't know,
mean,
some salami or something,
I mean,
right?
it's on the same lines. Is water wet? I mean,
Of course. So it's taco sandwich. Was like that?
I mean, I think it's the tomato, right? I mean,
Kind of. Potato. So it's a sandwich. Taco is a sandwich, guys.
I mean,
Okay.
yeah, I mean, it could be classified as a sandwich, but you are never gonna say, "I want a sandwich" and go get a taco. You're gonna say, "I'm
So
gonna go get a taco."
how do you gonna put the taco in which area? If it's not a sandwich,
It's a taco.
just a taco.
It's just a taco.
And if you want a burrito,
It's
can a burrito be a sandwich?
No, it's a burrito.
So the Mexican food cannot be associated with any categories, right?
You know, we're changing the name from the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America.
I heard
right?
that, yeah. Pineapple on a pizza or not?
My wife likes pineapple on pizza, so sometimes
Oh, I know you.
I say sometimes once we've done pineapple and bacon on it to combine, but usually we'll just get our own pizza. So I've eaten pineapple on pizza. I would never do it willingly.
Okay.
But I've ate it and I would eat it again if it was there and, or if I had to compromise my wife again. But
what's the dumbest way you injure yourself?
I mean, small injuries, like I cut myself every day because I don't wear gloves. And there's sometimes.
Paper cut?
I mean, usually I'm working on concrete or something like that. And I scrape my knuckles on concrete and whatever. And it'd be very simple to just wear gloves and it wouldn't happen. Or yesterday, I cut myself with my razor blade, and
Oh man,
I could have just very simple. I mean, I was cutting a wire that was underground and was frozen. So when I got through the first part that was iced, the rest of it was easy, and it just sliced right through my finger. I could have done a lot of things to prevent that, but
if animals could talk, which one would be the rudest?
if animals can talk, which one would be the rudest? I mean, monkeys. I feel like they're already pretty rude,
Monkeys?
right? I mean, they throw poop at you, and
Where you saw that?
I don't know, TV, cartoons.
I never saw that.
I mean, monkeys throwing poop, I thought was a pretty common.
I know llama spit on you, but that's it.
I mean, llamas can be pretty rude too. That's a good one.
What about goats?
What about me?
Are you rude?
Am I what?
Rude?
Am I rude?
Yeah.
No.
What's your go-to karaoke song?
Karaoke song. I don't do karaoke. If I did karaoke, maybe my ABCs. I know that song.
ABC?
A B C D E F G.
Ever been caught talking to yourself?
No, I mean, I'll respond to someone in my sleep, and I won't remember anything about it. But I think I've ever been caught talking to myself.
On the job sites or nothing, just talking to yourself, looking at whatever you're doing and just talk to yourself. Oh, so I should do that and do that. No? My wife always get me in the car because I'm just staying and thinking about something and I'm talking with myself. And it's like, who are you talking with? Like, nobody.
I mean, I usually don't talk out loud if I'm staring into space or something.
Oh,
like
I'm not talking out loud too. I mean, not most of the times, but sometimes, especially if I'm by myself in a job, they look Probably I'm talking myself out loud, but I just don't realize.
I mean, I get caught staring into space. Yeah, I mean, what's going on or what you doing? Oh, I don't know. I was thinking about the job. Yeah, I mean, it's kind of hard to not think about the job. So I mean, I think about I mean, that's all we do is think about work.
If you were a superhero, what would your superpower be?
I mean, I guess I can be pretty basic and just say I'd like to fly because I feel like that'd be pretty cool. Just have the ability to,
Maybe Superman
yeah.
or whatever one who can fly. Thor.
Superman would be pretty cool. He's strong and
What
can
about
fly,
Thor?
and
You're strong. You can fly. You got electricity.
that makes sense. I guess I can be Thor.
What's your worst habit?
My worst habit, I guess, currently would be when I respond, when I get a notification or something like that, and every time I open my phone and I'm trying to do my computer work or something, I'll just always turn to a different app and just start scrolling and be like, oh crap, I'm supposed to be working. And then I'll get another notification, like, what's going on? And then I'll just start scrolling and be like, oh crap, I'm supposed to be working. But I just got done working. So it's like, you know,
What's the weirdest thing you ever will
weirdest thing I ever what?
Google?
Google. I mean, how to be an electrician. I mean, every day I'm searching how to do my job.
That would be something to go to somebody's job like, hey, can you fix that? Yeah. How do I fix it? No switch.
you don't see the
I saw them,
those
yeah.
videos, yeah, about hey, do you care if I wear earbuds?
Yeah.
And you're like, how to do this.
What's the worst advice someone has given you?
Worst advice someone has given me. I don't know. What's something that you've told me before?
I told you I
I'm
didn't
just
told you
kidding.
nothing.
I don't know because I mean, usually when I ask for advice, I listen, but I don't. I don't listen to I listen to listen, but I don't do everything.
Come here.
Yeah. So if I've ever taken someone's advice, it's been by my own decision. So I mean, I can't say I can't recall something that's been really bad that's affected anything I've done so far.
Have you ever eaten something that you immediately regretted?
Yes.
That duck?
No. One day I was really just wanting something before bed, and there was crumble cookie in the fridge, and the crumble cookie should have been thrown away like a day or two ago. And I knew that, but I was like, my wife usually is on top of that. It's still in here. It's still good. And I wasn't able to work the next day because I had like food poisoning, and it was pretty bad.
If you could be famous for one thing, what would that be?
Being the best electrician in East Tennessee.
I don't think that's that famous. You know, it's just local knowledge.
It would feed my family.
Yeah, that's true. What's the weirdest dream you ever had?
So when I had that office job, I would dream about work a lot, and I'd say it's got to be weird dreaming about random calls and random service orders that don't exist, and thinking about working while you're sleeping.
If aliens landed, what's the first thing you would say to them?
What's up? We can't be any more weirder than they are. I mean, we're humans.
How do you think we're not more? How do you know that we are not more civilized than them?
I mean, if aliens landed on our planet, that means they found us before we found them. So
they're way more advanced than us.
I mean,
probably they are still not. Probably they are way behind the OnlyFans thing and fires. And
if they land on our planet before we land on their planet, then who's more advanced? I mean,
yep. All right, man. Thank you very much for coming to the podcast. I hope you're gonna have a great year. Please tell us where everybody can find you if they need you on Google and Facebook on 123 Electric
1-2-3 Electric LLC.
All right, guys. Thank you very much for watching. This is your host Ovi, and we'll see you next episode. Thank you.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Please give us a share, like, and a comment.